So we got the MLB Home Run Derby tonight. We got the All Star Game tomorrow. They are out there in Seattle. And we got Alex Curry here with us from FS1, Fox Sports, the Flippin' Bats podcast, Alex Curry and Ben Verlander. And I'm so glad to have you on the show here today, Alex, for the first time, because I'm a big fan. And I'm a big fan because every time I turn on the television, whether it's clips of you on Flippin' Bats or you're filling in on the herd, you're co-hosting the herd with my girl Joy Taylor, you look like you're having the best time. You look like you're having fun no matter what you're doing. You're always smiling. It's really easy. I put on the TV, Alex Curry's there, and I'm like, all right, she's enjoying herself. And that's, look, I hope that you can acknowledge that. That's important for the viewer. I want to turn on the TV and see other people who are talking sports, who are having a good time.
Yeah, I mean, I genuinely love what I do. I love sports, and sports are entertainment. I think people forget that sometimes. And what you want to do is I like to think that I'm having just as much fun as the athletes are, as the fans are watching it. And that's just my personality. It's who I am. I've always been that way. It was kind of funny in the beginning of my career as a reporter. People are like, can you just tone it down a bit? I'm like, no. That's not me. This is who I am. Yeah. But it worked out in the long run.
Yeah, no toning it down. No, it's perfect.
No, never.
It's there. I mean, look, there are plenty of people. You turn on the TV and you're like, that guy's not very likable. And the reason
like what you do,
yeah, right,
a good time,
right. And the reason that they come off unlikable is it doesn't look like they're having a good time. Like that's what's important. So I'm glad that you acknowledge that. I see you've been out there for a couple days in Seattle. What have you? I've never been to Seattle. What are you up to so far? What are you doing? I saw you doing something super disgusting yesterday with the gum wall.
Okay, so yesterday starting at 6:30 in the morning, Ben and I got a private tour of the Space Needle, which is so rad. It was built in 1962. We got all of these fun facts, but it's like this glass. They have one in Toronto as well, very similar, viewing where you get to see the entire city, all the mountains, everything surrounding it. So that was beautiful. And then we met up with Joel McHale at the market, and he's a Seattle, he kind of grew up here. So he's like a hometown hero.
Okay.
And he kind of took us around the market area, and there's this weird gum wall that's a thing here in Seattle. It's absolutely disgusting down this dark alleyway. It's right by the Improv Center where he used to have, he was there. He said every single day he was like a residency doing his improv stuff. It's right below where the fish market is, where they toss the fish. So we did that. We had them toss Ben and Joel a fish. I was like, yeah, no thanks. I don't need to be smelling like fish all day. I'll cheer you guys on. This will be great. And just really got to explore the city. And then we went to T-Mobile Ballpark to do our show where they were doing all the rehearsals, getting ready for the Home Run Derby tonight and at the All Star Game tomorrow. And the players, everyone officially arrived here today. And we actually are heading over to the stadium in about 30 minutes because all the press conferences are going to start. And it's where all the players, first you'll have the National League, and they're all kind of sitting in these personal little booths with their name tags. Yeah. It's a free for all for an hour. You just run up, try to get whatever sound you can, talk to whoever you want to talk to. And then there's a 30-minute switch over. And then the American League players will all come in, and it's just free for all.
How many All Star games have you been to / covered? MLB All Star games.
Ooh, since 2012 was my first one in Kansas City when I was with the Angels, and Mike Trout was his rookie year. And that was, so I would say from
a bunch.
8? Yeah. I think 8 maybe.
Yeah.
A lot. Yeah.
I went, tonight, of course, is the Home Run Derby. The All Star was here. I think it was 2016. Maybe 17, something like that. And that was the year where Stanton hit 60 some odd home runs. And so I took my son, we went to the Home Run Derby. We sat front row in the upper deck. So we're in a home run section.
Yeah.
Guy right next to me caught a home run, literally right next to me. But
I just 2 feet over to me. Come on.
You know what it was? I could have reached. All right. Yeah. It was totally within reach.
You were being polite. You were being a nice fan.
Yes, because here's the thing. Here's what was going through my mind. And you got to understand, we're front row upper deck. So if one of us drops it, the ball falls below. It's not going to fall into our seats. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, I could totally reach over and try and catch it. We brought our gloves. But
Uh-huh.
if I bump him, like the ball was clearly for him. If I bump him and we bobble it and it goes down, I got to still sit next to this guy the rest of the night.
It's true.
And
That's so
like
true.
I screwed up this whole. So I was like,
Yeah.
no. I got to do what's best for both of us. That's his ball, and he caught it.
Yeah, I need good vibes for this entire experience.
Yeah. I didn't need the uncomfortableness of me screwing you on television. But the point I want to make is like the home run derbies tonight, and we don't get good crowds, although it's been really good lately at Marlins Park. I mean, we don't get good crowds.
The WBC was incredible. We were out there for the WBC and it was packed. And I was told like this is the craziest it's been in the stadium. It's such a beautiful stadium. Yeah,
and you get all the Latinos there for the World Baseball Classic, and like it's amazing. But the home run derby, and you know, like I said, you're going to be there tonight. Home run derby is a lot of fun. Like that's going to be a really fun event tonight.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. I've missed not being at it the last couple of years. And I am so excited, especially when you have a hometown, kind of like the hometown hero in it. Like you have Julio Rodriguez, who is like the face of Seattle. Like he's literally plastered everywhere. And the matchup, him going against Pete Alonso, I mean, this could be the final. It really could be the final of the home run derby. But I mean, just this lineup was Luis Robert Jr. versus Adley Rutschman, Pete Alonso against Julio Rodriguez, Mookie Betts against Vladdy Jr., Adolis Garcia against Randy Rosarina. Like this is just going to be, it's going to be so much fun.
And we're still doing with the clock, right?
Still doing with the clock. That's the first round matchups. There's 4 groups. And then there's the second round and then the championship round.
Speaking of clock, this may be a silly question. First of all, I've loved the new additions with Major League Baseball.
Oh, I'm obsessed.
Are we doing the clock in the game tomorrow?
That's a good question. I would imagine so. Just because they're going to keep it as like, it wasn't in the WBC, which was interesting for a lot of those players who missed that part of spring training to practice and get ready for the regular season. But everyone's so used to it now that we're halfway through the regular season. I think it was the best addition they could have done for baseball. It's not necessarily, obviously it's making the games faster overall, but just the pace of the game is just like engaging, exciting. There's not these big lulls anymore. And it's just, even when you're at a game, it's making it so much more enjoyable just to like be there for the whole experience. You have to pay attention. You can't space out anymore when you're at a baseball game.
Well, and also what's happened is because they've gotten rid of the shifts, and this has benefited a team like the Marlins as well. The Marlins get a lot of singles. The Marlins get a lot of balls that roll through the infield. So it isn't just about the game going quicker.
One of the best hitters in the game right now. He's like on the road to 400. I am such a we just had him on the show a couple weeks ago, and the way he talks about hitting, he's not a power hitter. I mean, he has a couple home runs, but like the way he approaches hitting at the plate is just, it's beautiful. It should be a masterclass.
Do you plan on having any time? I know you're heading down to the ballpark soon.
Yeah.
Are you going to be able to get any one-on-one time with Otani? What have your experiences with Otani been? Have you had any experiences with him?
Oh, yeah. So I was with the Angels broadcast when he signed with the Angels. So I spent the first couple of years of his career with him, and just to watch his evolution, because when he came to Major League Baseball, we knew that he was dealing with some sort of elbow injury and eventually is going to have to be addressed, and which it did. He ended up having Tommy John surgery, and then he had the recovery, and then he had his MVP season. And that was my last season with the Angels. And every single person finally got to see what we always knew, how incredible of a player he was. And he is just, I mean, he's changing the game forever. We haven't seen anything like this ever. I mean, they're changing rules. They're creating rules for Shohei Otani. And the way he goes about his business is just, he eats, sleeps, breathes baseball, and is just having so much fun while he does it. And I mean, he is an incredible, he's home run leader. He's in the MVP conversation, and he's having a great season on the mound and is potentially in the Cy Young conversation. So he is such a pure soul and such an incredible baseball player. I am a huge fan, both of him on and off the field. I love Otani. Ben and I talk about him like daily, and we hope everybody realizes how lucky we are to be watching a player like this right now unfold right in front of our eyes, because I don't know if we'll ever see it again. Yeah. So it's just, I'm excited to see him here at the All Star Game, because obviously we've never seen him play in the postseason. Same like Mike Trout, lost 3 and that was it.
It's not going to be this year either, unfortunately. At least with the Angels. At least if it's the Angels.
So that's another interesting conversation. Is he going to get traded at the deadline? What are they going to do? Where's he going to go when he's a free agent next season? But getting to see him at the WBC in Miami and in Japan, like on the biggest stage, I think reminded everybody how special of a player he is. And I think that will happen again here at the All Star Game, getting him on the biggest stage with the biggest stars.
Well, there's a major Japanese contingent in Seattle, right?
Yeah.
So there should be a ton of media for him. Yeah.
I mean, everywhere he goes. I mean, I remember his very first season, there was like 200 Japanese media members every single game. Like it was insane. Insane.
Yeah. Is he going to wind up with free agency? Is he going to want to be paid like 2 different players? Because is he going to want to be paid as a hitter, an everyday player, and as a Cy Young candidate pitcher?
He should. I think he will be close to the $600 million contract. I mean, we're looking at possibly the biggest sports contract in American history, and he deserves it. You are getting 2 players, 2 incredible MVP and Cy Young quality players. So he deserves every penny he's going to get. And his biggest thing is he wants to win and he deserves to win. So wherever he ends up, I mean, if the Angels, I don't know if they will. I think it's not a smart business move if they don't try to trade him and get something for him at the trade deadline, because he's most likely not going to re-sign with them. It's this month, this next like 3 weeks is going to be very interesting to see what happens for Shohei Otani.
Alex, give me a little bit on this Ellie De La Cruz. Every day I got my 14-year-old son who tells me, did you see what Ellie De La Cruz did today?
I mean, he is the most electric rookie player, like just player in the league right now. I mean, this weekend he stole every single base. Every single base. And like stealing home was like a piece of cake, nothing. And I mean, he was offered to participate in the home run derby and he politely declined because he wanted to focus on this season, which I get, because we've heard some players say that after the home run derby, it kind of messes up their swing a little bit. So, I mean, it's so exciting, this younger generation between him, Corbin Carroll, who's a rookie that's here at the All Star Game as well. Like there is just so much young, exciting talent right now. And Ellie, we had been talking about him, waiting for him to come up, and he is a star. Yeah. He is an all-star. He is incredible.
What is our favorite ballpark that we've been to, Alex?
Ooh, this is tough. We were talking about this. I guess Seattle, T-Mobile is a lot of the players' favorite ballparks. I'm biased. I grew up with season tickets to Dodger Stadium. So Dodger Stadium is always going to be close to my heart and favorite.
But it's old, right? Like it's old.
But there's like memories, like it's LA memories. I'm born and raised in LA. So there's just like something cool about that. Yankee Stadium is always insane. I love the feel of Petco in the city. Those are probably my favorite. Now, and I love the historic. Don't get me wrong. Boston is like the history there is insane. But yeah, I guess more of like the West Coast for me.
Now, I know you're a big music fan. I know your husband is involved in music. So what is our favorite concert venue?
Ooh, Red Rocks. My husband sold out Red Rocks 3 times last year. And it's the most magical place in the world. If you can go see a concert there.
My wife, that's like the dream trip, is that we go preferably we go see Dave Matthews. That's her favorite. Yep. We go see Dave Matthews at Red Rocks.
Do it. I mean, it is insane. Like my husband, the first time he played there was the first time both of us had been there, and they sold it out. And there was like lightning storms, but far enough away where they didn't have to shut it down. So it was happening behind the audience and then behind the stage, and you are in between the Red Rocks. It's magical is the only really way I know how to explain it. It's so cool.
Now, near where you are right now, of course, you're in Seattle, Washington, another one of those venues that we want to go to. We want to go to the Gorge. Have you ever been to a show at the Gorge?
I have not. This is only my 3rd time here in Seattle. So, and the other 2 times were for work. And so this is also for work. So there's not like a ton of free time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love to. I mean, the music, obviously grunge, everything, Nirvana, Foo Fighters, everything up here in Seattle is just, I get it now because it just kind of got gloomy. It was sunny and beautiful yesterday. And then like, it's like you open the blinds and you're like, oh, okay, this is what they're talking about. It's like in Seattle all the time.
Now, I'm a huge Pearl Jam fan, and obviously you're in Seattle. Yep. I feel like, and I know Mike McCready, who plays guitar for Pearl Jam, every now and then he does the national anthem at the Mariners games.
Yeah.
So like, I'm wondering, is there going to be some type of appearance, tonight, tomorrow, where maybe he's doing the anthem? Have you heard anything about this?
Maybe. I haven't heard anything about that yet. I did hear they have a lot of the players from the 2001 Mariners team because they were they were going through that on the PA system when we were doing our show yesterday. But other than that, no, I haven't heard.
I mean, you got to figure obviously Ken Griffey, but you got to figure Ichiro's going to make an appearance, right?
Yeah. Yep. Ken Griffey was there. He was at the celebrity game.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. Very good. Finally here. Are we on Threads? I haven't switched over to Threads yet. Alex, I can't just ditch Twitter. I've spent all this time. I can't ditch it.
You have to do it. You have to do both. You don't want to be left behind. Think about it. You just got to jump on it. It's super easy. It's connected to your Instagram. It just automatically goes over. And then a lot of your followers go over too. The cool thing is it's a little more of a conversation right now. And it's a little bit of a beautiful chaos because I don't think the algorithm has picked up on everybody's like what they want to see yet. But it's fun. Just do it.
So are you putting your is it called a thread? It's not called a tweet, right? Is it called a thread?
It's called a thread. It's called a thread.
Okay. So you post
like photos and videos. There's a little like paper clip that you like attach and then you just talk. I mean, it's very similar. It's extremely similar.
And so then you just put the same thing you just put on Threads on Twitter because you want both, right?
Different. I'm on both. I try to keep content a little separate and spread it out. But yeah, it's very similar. It's a conversation platform.
What a mess. Alex, tell everybody how they can catch you and Ben Verlander on Flippin' Bats. Go ahead.
Oh, every single day we are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the Fox Sports app, YouTube. You can watch live. We are also on Threads. We are on every social media app every single day. The Flippin' Bats podcast with Ben Verlander and Alex Curry. We are bringing the joy back to baseball and just talking about the game every single day.
How did you know when you put the gum on the gum wall that you weren't touching another piece of gum that was just put there? That's so gross.
It's disgusting. I put a giant piece of gum in my mouth. So I made it so it was like a wide base.
Gotcha.
And I had a point so I could just jump and
vet move. Good job, Alex. Thank you so much for hanging out today, Alex. I appreciate it.
Of course. Thanks for having me.